Hello everyone, this is Aparna. Today I have a very young, bright and brilliant guest with me. He has been awarded as one of the top 300 young scientists in nation. He is a senior in a high school and got acceptance offers from prestigious universities like Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Columbia, UPenn, UC Berkeley, Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, UIUC, and many more. So let's meet Shaurya Agarwal and we'll get to know more about his incredible journey, his accomplishments, achievements, and his research work. Hello Shaurya, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me and telling about your research, your project.
Yeah.
And recently, you have recognized as one of top talent, science talent in nation, US.
Yeah.
So, would you like to tell something about that, your project, your research?
Yeah, of course, of course. So yeah, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here and to be talking with you. And yeah, so this recognition that I got, the Regeneron Science Talent Search Scholar, and I was one of the top 300 to be selected for this, was for a project that I did, a research project that I did over this past summer and this past year. And so this project, like the official title for it, is Combinatorial Optimization and Machine Learning for Predicting Optimal Cell State Conversion Paths. So this project was sort of a culmination of a couple of years of research. So I've been doing research in this field of computational biology, oncology, along with a little bit of quantum computing and mathematics. And all of that research I've been doing in the past few years was sort of culminated with this project. And it was a really cool opportunity to be able to get to do this. And essentially, overall, what I was doing in this research process was, if you look at the current ways to treat diseases like cancer, for example, they're very dependent on killing the cells. Like chemotherapy kills those cells. But what I was trying to see was if I can take those disease cells and convert them back into healthy cells. So I ran a computational simulation to figure out if I can convert a disease, so a cancerous blood cell, into a healthy eye cell. So that's a very drastic conversion.
Okay.
And if you look at past research, there isn't much past research to support this because it's very expensive to do this in the lab. So that's why I wanted to do it computationally using computational data and computational models. So the way I did it was using some AI models and some math, and I achieved almost a 90% conversion rate from a blood cancer cell into a healthy eye cell compared to past research, which is a 40% conversion rate. So these were some amazing results, and I was very glad to have been able to do this research project. And I think it was very important to me overall because I've been very invested in this field, and this was very new to me, this field, but I think it was a lot of fun, and I truly liked doing it.
Shaurya, your research was really unique and amazing, I would say.
Yeah.
So I just want to know how you started, means what was the process actually? How it came in your mind?
Of course, yeah.
And who helped you, or you only started this thinking about it?
Yeah. So from a young age, I've always been interested in many different areas of science. Like I was never able to choose one. So from that sort of came an interest in like combining different fields, finding unique connections between them. So this area of computational biology, sort of around the time, like this was around the time of COVID, it was very, very much rising because if you look at like all the epidemiologic data from COVID, a lot of people were starting to do analyses on these data sets to figure out like different patterns, find out potential targets for drugs. And so I think around that time, I sort of got into figuring out if I can apply this sort of field to oncology. And that was a very burgeoning field at that point. Like it was kind of new. And so I was doing some research online. I found a paper with some data sets, and I knew computer science. So I thought to myself that, oh, okay, I can use data science. I can use AI to analyze these different data sets to sort of start my research journey. And so from there, I just started doing some analyses, and I required some further help because sort of the biological analyses of these data sets and figuring out how to apply this research that I'm doing to an actual paper or to like actually analyze my results, I realized I might need some mentorship. So that's where I started reaching out to professors. So I think I reached out, a cold emailed around 40 or 50 professors because I mean, I didn't really have any connections. None of my parents really
Yeah.
had any connections in the field. So I just found professors whose papers I'd read and who did cool work in this field. And I just contacted them asking if they could help me out. They could sort of answer a few of my questions in the process. And so it required a lot of work. And as a high schooler, this is not just a case for me, but a lot of case for a lot of other high schoolers that you're going to get answered no most of the time. But after contacting like 50 or 40 professors, one of them finally did say yes.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a very important thing to do is get that mentorship. And it's very difficult to do, but at some point somebody's going to say yes. And I think for me, the way I started my research journey was I came up with an idea myself and contacted a professor.
Okay.
And that was very unique. Not a lot of people do that. Sometimes people reach out to professors themselves, ask them if they can help them out on their projects. That's another way to go about it, get started. But this is just one way I sort of approached it. And I think that started my research journey. And I've done 4 research projects in the past 3 years. And 3 of those research projects were from just cold emailing professors, asking them for help, and then obviously this last project I did over the summer at the research camp. So actually, the professor that I did the research with at this past research summer research camp was a professor I'd reached out to independently beforehand for another project. So I think it's just very important that you keep your eyes out and keep your ears open and just like always listen to news and reach out to professors. And if you're reading papers, you see that this paper is interesting, you look at the names and you can just reach out to them. And the worst that's going to happen is that they're just going to say no. So I would say that's a very important part of the process is cold emailing. If you don't have somebody you can directly just turn to and say, can you help me out in this process? So I think that's a very important part of the research project process, especially as a high schooler, is just reaching out to professors and asking them for advice.
This is amazing, I would say. And thanks for telling us this.
Yeah.
This is kind of secret, I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a trade secret is that a lot of people keep this hidden away because most people like high schoolers that do get research opportunities, they have direct relatives doing research in the field. But for most of us that don't have those connections, it's very important to just reach out and ask.
Nowadays kids, they are chasing for Ivy
Yeah.
schools and best universities, best college. It's good, but
Yeah.
what is your thinking about the stress, the pressure they have?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, and this is something even colleges themselves recommend, is that if you're trying to build your application around a college, like target it specifically to a college, that's not a great idea. And they're going to realize that. They're pros at this. They've been doing this for a long while. So they're going to understand that. But if you do something you truly like science was my true passion, and if it's also somebody else's, if you do something you like in that field and you pursue it to an extent, so you have to be motivated to pursue it. I think that's the biggest issue is that students like something, but they don't get started. And getting started is the most important part. And once you get started, it just snowballs. And I think that was the case for me too. But overall, just pursue something you're interested in, and it could be anything. And as long as you're doing that and you're achieving good things in that and you're reaching to some extent in that field, then you'll be fine. I think that will be a much more authentic application for the counselors and the admissions officers reading your application. You have a much greater chance of getting accepted wherever you want to. So I feel like that also not only reduces the stress, but also increases your chances of getting accepted.
Right. So what do you think? It's a branch, the interest you have, that is important, or the university or college is important?
Yeah, of course. So I feel like there should definitely be a match between you and the college.
Okay.
But as long like pretty much every college nowadays, like especially Ivy Leagues, have amazing programs for everything. So if you have an interest in something and you pursue it, you first of all you have less stress. You're not really worried about like the college process because you're doing something you like. Second of all, you have much higher chances. And third of all, when you do actually get accepted into whatever college you want to go to, you're going to be much better off because you know what you're doing and you've done it before. So you're going to be more experienced than your peers around you. So I feel like your branch, your interest matters much more than the college you're looking out for. If you just focus on that and then wait for like around senior year to come and write your essays and applications, I feel like you're going to find a much better fit and match with whatever colleges you're looking to.
Can you tell me any good memorable experience during this competition time,
Of
or
course, yeah.
how it happened?
Yeah, for sure. So actually, I started doing this project over the summer, and um, the project was done at MIT. So I did this at MIT under a research program,
Okay.
and this research program is called the Research Science Institute (RSI), and I was selected for it. So they select from around 2,000 applicants or 3,000 applicants, 100 people from around the world to come to MIT campus for 6 weeks and do research there. So this is how I actually started the project. So I went to their campus. I was selected for this 100 cohort, and I was matched with a professor at MIT to do this research process. So I think just like being in that professional environment, because I was in an actual lab with actual postdocs, graduates
Yeah.
that have been studying at MIT or doing research at MIT and are doing very cool work, because a lot of interesting stuff comes out of these labs, and a lot of new research that is very important to treating diseases like cancer comes out of these labs. So just being in the epicenter of all that amazing work being done was, I would say, a very cool experience. And I not only got to meet amazing scientists, but amazing other young students around the world that have been doing very cool stuff similar to this. So I think that was the most memorable experience that I've had in this entire process.
Great. There are so many things in senior high school, right?
Yeah.
How you balance your academics
Right.
and your interest
Yeah.
and other, other things in daily routines.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, definitely it's a very difficult thing to do, but I would say like doing research and like doing these different types of things in science. Like I also work with a few startups, and doing this kind of work is just very fun for me. So I end up like trying to figure out times for me to just like work on these things, like whether it means like finishing homework during school. But other than that, I think it's very important to sort of keep a schedule. So I make sure to like adhere to a schedule where I'm studying for some amount of time for classes, and then some amount of time I'm doing this, or other amounts of time I'm at the gym working out. So I think just like keeping a very, very good schedule that keeps me on track is a good way. And also being flexible. Like sometimes I might not be able to do something that I wanted to do because there's just so much work, or there's like a project due tomorrow for school. So I would say being flexible, but also at the same time keeping a schedule so that you know what you're going to do, and you are able to do the things you like as well. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, amazing. And what advice you want to give, or you can give to any student who is interested into science related projects, or computer side, engineering side, and physics, maths, these kind of fields? What will be your advice or best practices, things they can do?
Yeah, for sure. I would say one thing is definitely like I've been doing research, and I think that's very, very important, because if you're going to go into these fields like science and technology, there's going to be some point in time where you are a part of academia, whether it be at the undergraduate level or whether it's your job. You are going to do research, and you're going to be on the cutting edge. So school teaches you how to think very, very directionally. Like they give you a problem, there's an answer to it, your teacher's going to give you an answer. But research, there isn't an answer. You are the one that's supposed to find the answer. So being creative is very important in this process. So I would say I would recommend every person, every high schooler, even middle schoolers, to try out some sort of research opportunity, even if it means like not doing your own research project, but just helping a professor in their work. I think that's truly very important to do something like that. And it doesn't have to be research. There's other things like for example, startups, and startups too sort of teach you that creativity, creating something that doesn't have a solution for it. And I think that's what science and technology is all about, is making something that doesn't exist so that it can help other people. And so I think taking part in those activities from a young age makes you sort of understand what the processes look like, so that you can do it better in college, and you can do it better when you're actually doing your job. I think that's very important as a scientist and as a technologist overall.
So true. Yeah. And what are the future plans now? You are going to enter in college life. And so what, are you excited? Obviously.
I'm definitely very excited.
What like if you want to open up, what will be your future plans in brief?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously I'm looking forward to going to college, heading off, and being able to like study what I want to in college, right? But other than that, I'm also looking forward to interacting with like different types of people and communities, because in this environment in high school you're very limited to who you talk to, and also exploring new hobbies, because I like doing other things at school. Like I do debate. I think that makes me a better scientist. And all these different opportunities, I feel like I will have more time to pursue these during college. So I definitely want to do that and have some more time to pursue research and do academia. I'm definitely looking forward to continue doing research and making new science.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Shaurya. Thanks for
For sure.
talking to me and opening up with so many secrets.
Yeah.
And it's really amazing to know about your research project. And I would say you gave really great advice for
Yeah.
high schoolers and whoever is interested for
Yeah.
the science
Right.
science side, and even without science,
Mhm.
any
Yeah.
interest. So thank you
Definitely.
so much. Thanks for coming. Thanks to